Good afternoon, all. My name is Puneet Jain, and I'm developing an application called INSTAFER, which can potentially be a game changer in the remittance industry. It's a peer-to-peer, cross-border remittance platform which can help users remit money without charging any fees, and also generate money for the agents who transmit the transaction. So what's the problem with remittance today? Very simply, let's take a case. Ahmed in UAE wants to send money from UAE. He's a migrant worker, and he wants to send money home. This is a typical experience he has to go through. He has to wait in a line. He has to pay up to 10% of his transaction amount, and his family receives the money in 5 days. So I started thinking about the remittance industry, and I thought to myself, with the technology that we have, can't we build a blockchain-based technology that can help remit without charging any fees? So I started looking into Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin was a real game changer, but it required mass adoption. So the problems that I came with Bitcoin was the high transaction fees, the network load that it can't handle right now, and people don't believe in it, and they require a little bit of technical skills to use. So I started digging into research papers and technical journals, and I devised a solution. And I planned a solution, and I went to Silicon Valley, where I've talked to my friends in Google and in UC Berkeley, and I told them this idea. One of them got so excited that he jumped on the case and started, jumped on the case and started working on the project. So what was the solution that we came with? It was simply a new blockchain made specifically for the remittance industry, and a new coin that will be used only for the remittance. How it works, the value is transferred simply online through the blockchain. We use incentivized volunteer agents who are free agents who want to work for the system. These agents are paid in cryptocurrency, which is the Instacoin, and it's a new technology and it has never been developed before. Let's take a case. Let's say Ahmed in UAE wants to send money to Asha in India. He finds Yusuf, an agent who's working for the system, gives cash to Yusuf. Yusuf, using this platform, sends the value to Ravi, who is located close to Asha, and Ravi gives the cash back in Indian rupees to Asha. And in this process, we use a proprietary proof of service algorithm that generates new coins for Yusuf and Ravi as a method of compensation instead of having a cut from the transaction amount. The global market size is $600 billion. In UAE alone, there are 90% expats who do $2 billion of remittance annually. The competitions are banks, exchange houses, fintech companies, informal operators, and even Bitcoin. But since they all have an infrastructure cost, they can't remit without fee, and hence we believe they will be disrupted. So our business model is pretty simple. We don't earn on the transaction cost. We earn by holding the coins. We will have a token sale where we will sell Insta coins to our early adopter and early investors. And these initial coin holders will see appreciation in value as we work through the service. And the value of these Insta coins will go up. Think Bitcoin model. If you would have invested in Bitcoin in 2010, you would have seen magnitudes of exponential returns. Our team I'm a serial entrepreneur who has started and buried many companies. I have my brother in San Francisco who is working with the developers. We have UC Berkeley on our team, which is our biggest support. And Ashwin is a talented developer. We have Dr. Modani, who is a banker himself and knows ins and outs of the economic system. So the money that we will raise today will go in the research and development of this project. We will market the Insta coins using the money we raise, and also to kickstart the application and to prevent a fraud or any leak in the concept. We will start with having a sandbox of agents who will kickstart this application. So that was the presentation. Thank you.
Go back to your slide on on the way that the money moves.
Right.
Right there.
Right.
Are these agents going to be regulated? When I talk about regulation, the reason we have in your next slide, when you speak about the ones that are going to be disrupted, the reason they are there is to prevent something called money laundering.
Mm-hmm.
So if these agents are not going to be regulated, I'm sorry I'm being too regulatory over here, but if these agents are not going to be regulated, how would you ensure that you comply with central bank rules or any other?
So I'm just building a technology platform. I don't have anything to gain from it apart from the coins. Okay. So what people what people do with the technology is not my business.
Okay.
So that eliminates the regulation part.
I'm just curious about the fees, because you said they're incentivized as volunteers. They'll get paid in Bitcoin.
In Instacoins,
They'll
the coins of the system, of the
Right,
blockchain.
but how are they incentivized? They'll get paid if there's no fee. How do they get paid?
So when each and every node on this transaction chain confirms that the transaction has happened, we are using agents as the miners who are using a proof of service algorithm that will generate new coins and will be given to the agents as a compensation. So they can, so Instacoins will be sold openly in market, and they can exchange it for US dollars or Bitcoins or whatever they prefer.
So a question here. So
Yes.
one of the issues that Bitcoin has today is the bottleneck that gets US dollars into Bitcoin or dirhams into Bitcoin. So you have to go through an exchange,
Right.
which is highly regulated. A lot of KYC, money in and out, takes months. So how are you solving that problem from sender to agent and agent to receiver, I guess?
So it dives a bit into the technical part of it, and I would be happy to answer this question outside.
Right. Just to pick it up from the regulatory question, or regulatory question specifically on the business model, time to market, considering the regulatory, I don't know how much you have said on the regulatory side, do you have any idea on time to market on the model? On time to market, how much time it takes for you?
So we're going to be creating a sandbox, a prototype environment, so that we can have enough agents on both sides of the borders to start with. And so we're not just going to release it in the market. We're going to wait for the agents to understand the system. And when they understand it, then we're going to release it out to the public.
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
And with that, a big hand.
So thank you.